Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be starting this new thing on my channel where we have this nice sit-down video and we wrap up some of the things that I read in the previous season. So since winter is coming to an end, I thought that I would tell you about the books I read in winter of 2024. Can you believe it's almost 4 months into 2024? That's crazy. I'm gonna go through the different genres that I've read and tell you how many books of that genre that I've read so far this year. If you would like to see where I break down each and every book that I've read this year so far, please let me know in the comments below and I will make a video just telling you the books that I've read so far this year. And if you want a bookish bingo update, I just filmed a wrap-up for the winter. So that should be up. I'll link it over here if you want to know how I'm doing on all of my bookish goals this year. But let's start with, I've read 70 books. I don't know if I said that or not. But let's break it down by genre. So I have read 19 romances, followed by 18 horror novels. What? That actually does make sense to me because I'm trying really hard this year to test what I like in horror novels and what I don't like, and I'm doing this vlogging series in which I read all of the horror novels that are talked about in 101 books to read before you're murdered, and it's been a lot of fun so far. So I expect that number to go up even more. Then my third most read genre so far this year is thrillers with 10. And then surprisingly, I've read, in the fourth position is classics with 8 classics. Then we have a 3-way tie. So we have literary fiction, nonfiction, and just mysteries, all with 4 books. And then 2 historical books, but one of those was a reread. That's okay. And then 1 contemporary. So that's kind of what my reading year has looked like so far. But I thought that it would be really cool to give you like my 5 favorite books of the year so far. So we're going to start with, it might not be in this order. I'm not going to order them until I have to at the mid-year check-in and at the end of the year content. But I'm going to talk about the one that I don't physically own yet. I bought it. It is on its way to me, but I don't have it yet. And that is Fantastic Land by Mike Bachoven. Oh my gosh. This is horrifying. This is horrific. This is, it was so gruesome. But I really enjoyed it. So you follow these survivors of this hurricane that has hit Florida. And there's this big amusement park, think like Disney World, but their competitor is Disney World. They talk about Disney World in this book. And it's like an amusement park, and it's got different lands. There's like superhero, fairies, pirates, and the survivors of this hurricane are stuck at this amusement park, which wouldn't be that big of a deal because they have enough food and water, and you would think that they'd be able to survive. But it gets really horrific because it's like these people don't know how long they're going to be there. They start turning to things like cannibalism, even though, like, they don't really need to because there's food here. And some of the scenes were just so gruesome. Like, there are people attacking other people, and then some people trying to be like, hey, I'll be in charge, listen to me, and then, like, it causes, fighting, and it was so dark, but I loved it. It's like Lord of the Flies trapped in an amusement park instead of on an island. And the audiobook was really good for this because it's kind of told in interview format, and it just worked so well for this book. I was scared. It was really creepy, and I think it did a very good job. Then I have 4 more. So, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I read this at the beginning of the year, and I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. It's a classic that follows Scout, and Scout is like, I feel like I was Scout growing up, but she is curious about the world. She doesn't understand the hate in the world, and this is like, there's a lot about racism, and the ending just broke my heart. And, like, this was just a perfect book. More than likely, this is going to be added to my favorite books of all time list, but I very much so enjoyed it. Then I also have Mallory by Josh Malerman, which is the second book in the Bird Box series. I like this better than Bird Box. This was so creepy, and it kept me up because I was so scared. I'm like, do I stay up and read this, or do I stay up and I'm super paranoid, and anytime I hear a noise I'm gonna get scared? So I stayed up and finished this book in one night, and I can't really tell you a whole lot about it because it's a sequel to Bird Box, but know that this one is better than Bird Box. But if you haven't read Bird Box, then this does spoil Bird Box. But I just love Mallory so much. Another creepy one that I read, super short. I listened to the audiobook as I read on Kindle, except for when I got to work. At work, I just listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook was really good. So there's We Need to Do Something by Max Booth III. This is a horror novel about a tornado. So this family is gearing up for a tornado. They don't have a basement, so they're hiding out in their bathtub. And then they get trapped in the bathroom. And I know it sounds so weird. Like, ew, I don't want to read a horror novel where the mom and the dad and the 2 kids are locked in a bathroom. That seems so boring. This is anything but boring. It was creepy, and, like, there are some scenes that just stay in my brain rent-free now. I was not expecting to like this book, but it was, like, the pictures, he really does paint a picture of horror, and this had me so scared. I'm always the first person at my school to get there, like the first teacher, and half the time when I go, the lights are still turned off in the hallway, and that's fine, but I was listening to this as I was walking in the dark, empty hallways, and I was scared. I have to admit. I did not want to answer my classroom door, and I have to because I'm a teacher. But at the same note, like, no one else was there. So no one was there for the first hour. Then people started showing up, and someone knocked on my door, and I could tell who it was because glass door in the top part. And yeah, I still didn't want to answer because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if you're like, what if you're trying to trick me? But this was so good. It made me so paranoid, and I don't even have tornadoes here, but it was scary. And then, you know, because most of these were scary, why not throw a romance on here? Honestly, I was just going through all my books and all the 5 stars that I gave, which was like it was 23%. I think it was 19. No, it was 17 out of 70 books were 5-star books this year. And that is 23%, I believe. Check my math because it's for sure 23%. I just don't remember how many books it was. But also, if you want me to do a video where I just talk about only the 5-star books that I've read so far this year, also let me know in the comments below. But I was looking through them, and I wanted one that was like on the same level, and I couldn't find any more horror novels that I really just absolutely loved this year. But I did find a romance that has it just made me feel so happy, and I just really enjoyed This Spells Love by Kate Robb. I also think this would be a really good one for like Halloween, but you could really read it anytime. I just read it in the winter, and it was really nice. So this was a book of the month choice, clearly. But it follows Gemma, who is having a rough time. She got dumped by her fiance. I think she lost her job, and she's just not having a good time right now. And so she goes drinking with her sister, and they end up at her aunt's house. And her aunt is kind of a kooky little witch, and they do this spell. And to seal the spell, she has to kiss her best guy friend. So she does, and she gets put in this alternate reality where she was never with the guy that dumped her. She was never with him. Their relationship never existed. So it turns out that changed a lot of her life and her friend's life. What is Dax? I forgot his name, but his name is Dax. It changed Gemma's life and Dax's life. And this book is a lot about, like, what would you do for love? Like, how much would you compromise? How much would you give up for the one you love? And it was sweet, but it was heartbreaking. Like, this one of the funniest books I've ever read, but it had me crying while I was laughing. Crying because it was such a heartfelt moment, but laughing because it was just so nice. It was definitely a good break from all of the horror and thriller books that I've been reading this year, and it just put a smile on my face. And sometimes you just need a book that does that. And there's like talk of alternate realities and different things like that I really, really enjoyed. So I hope you liked this wrap up of January, February, and most of March. We still have a couple weeks left of March, or like a week and a half. But don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!